Alright guys, what is going on? I do first want to say I do apologize here for number one, the late call, because usually, recently I've been getting a little bit later here, but that's the first thing. I do want to apologize just because, I'll be honest with you guys, I've been shooting a lot of new content, so with that new content, it's been kind of hard because I've been using my desk here, so I've got like a new laptop and some new stuff here that I've been using here. So no worries, no stress. Okay, we are going to mark up the charts, guys. I am going to give you guys I'm going to make it worth it. I'm going to give you guys some really good trades here that are going to definitely shift the way that you guys are looking at the charts. Okay, and I'm going to make sure today specifically that whatever you guys do here, you guys are going to get some really good setups. Okay, guys? So I promise you by the end of this session, you're going to get a lot of value. So I do apologize for being super late. Again, one more time, and I'm going to answer all your guys' questions here. So first things first, let's talk about, okay, what's happening in the market here. So when it comes to the government shutdown, because we didn't do the call on Monday and we went straight into like live session mode, what I want to talk about is with this government shutdown, it's consistent here, okay? There is no real idea on when this shutdown is going to stop. The last shutdown that we have was 30 days. It took about 30 days for the last shutdown, so we could assume that it might take 30 days for us to kind of maybe get something similar in terms like of a potential non-shutdown, okay? So we can only assume that, guys. We don't know if that's the truth here. So my assumption here is going to be saying, okay, I'm going to assume that the government shutdown that we're having, okay, can end in 30 days. Now, if I make that assumption and it's a clear assumption here, then what I need to focus on right now is what is price action doing only, because the reality is, normally we trade off fundamentals, but we have no fundamentals to trade off of. But I do have one fundamental sentiment that I believe will override everything. That is bank failures, okay? Number one, bank failures. And then number two, okay, uncertainty. Uncertainty of the market, and you're seeing it clear, okay? we're seeing uncertainty in the market. So let's go over just a couple things here. I do not know if we're going to get CPI tomorrow. I really don't. CPI usually shifts trends, but I do not know if we're going to get CPI. Why do I not know? Because the reality is, you know, the government isn't shut down. So are we getting, hold on, are we getting CPI numbers tomorrow? Okay, let's first see if we are. Oh yeah, we're not. So we're not even getting CPI numbers for tomorrow. Okay. It's actually confirmed on a government website, BLS government website. We're not getting CPI numbers until like when? Like tomorrow. I mean, not even tomorrow. So tomorrow, these numbers are going to come out in November. So again, why is that not a good thing? This is a terrible thing because it brings more uncertainty, guys. Remember, I am a fundamentals trader, guys. I'm not just a normal technical trader. Anybody that trades technicals, whatever works for them, works for them. But technicals is only 30% of the market, guys. Remember, the other 30% is fundamentals and sentiment. They play just as hard as an equal role of the market, okay? So right now, we have no real fundamentals to base the market off of. And fundamentals is what controls sentiment. Sentiment is what influences institutions to buy or sell. So because we don't really have fundamentals, we're now by default, it affects our sentiment. And we only have technicals to kind of go off of, okay? And technicals aren't necessarily the most accurate to go off of. I've never seen a billionaire trader or a guy that has been managing millions or billions of dollars in funds only trade with technicals. It's stupid. Guys, I've worked with people that have I've worked and traded with traders that have traded for institutions and that have managed hundreds of millions of dollars before. They don't just trade technicals. They don't do that. Okay? Your technical trader, it's not just technicals. I want you guys to be aware of that. So because of that, this right here, not having news tomorrow, is an issue. It is an issue. And the reason why is because if we have no CPI news, remember, NFP and CPI dictate market trends. Okay? If we have a bad CPI, NFP report based on market sentiment right now, there's a higher chances that we're going to increase rates. So the market would go to the upside. We had no NFP this month. CPI, if we have a bad CPI report, the markets will go down because the market's still kind of fearing inflation. And the market, specifically Powell, stated that he does not want to cut rates if inflation's going through the roof. We don't even have, so we have no job report market. We have no news report on this. We have no inflation report. That is a problem. That is an actual real problem here. Because institutions will base their decisions based off NFP and CPI. If we don't have the news and the data here, that is a big problem. What does that mean? It brings this thing called the market uncertainty. And when we do get the NFP data, and if the CPI data is very dramatic, it could create market swings where it swipes liquidity on the upside and then it swipes liquidity on the downside. Okay? We have to be very careful here because once this news is released, CPI, NFP, which is the most important news of the month here, news events of the month, we could have swipes liquidity both internally and externally very, very quickly when the government shutdown stops. Now, what I can tell you for tomorrow is just based off of what I'm seeing here. Okay, the CPI year over year is not good. Okay, it says the release date is going to be 9 days, delayed by 9 days due to a government shutdown. Okay, what does that mean for us? That's not good news. Bad news. It's very much bad news. The reason it's bad news is this. The government does not want inflation to be going this high. Because it brings down the ability for us to do what? To cut rates. Or it brings out the percentages or the chances of us cutting rates. Now, I believe we're still going to get a rate cut. We're still going to get a rate cut. I do believe that. Okay? Even though CPI numbers might say something different here, I still do believe we're going to get a rate cut here. I still believe it. Okay? I still believe that. Regardless of whatever we believe, I still believe that's going to happen. I don't know why my computer's taking forever to load here. I got like the best speed. Okay? So, this here tomorrow, on Friday, if we get the CPI year over year, I think if this is very bearish. This is bearish for markets. And this is why markets are selling off. Because CPI was supposed to come last week. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, CPI was supposed to come last week. We didn't get the CPI report. I'm pretty sure CPI was supposed to come last week. So now we're getting CPI this week, and the expectations is already bearish here. This is going to make SPX, if it's worse than expected, worse than 3.1, going to go down. Okay, so I'm expecting more bearish movement this week. Tomorrow, I'm expecting some bearish movement. There's no data. There's no data at all. So whatever clean market structure we have going on is the only data we can go off of. And so that means we can only go off of technical in the current trends. But what we can do is we could have foresight. I could see into the future based off of expectations, so I can have an idea behind what institutions are going to do. And look at this, CPI year over year. This here is dangerous. This is not good, guys. This is bad news for potential rate cuts here. This is bad news, right? We're still probably going to cut rates here, but now we're above the Fed's expectation of a under 2% inflation goal. Okay? And not only do we have bad data here, we have bad data this week with flash manufacturing PMI. Previous was 52, now it's 51. If we come under expectations, we're going to have market drops on Friday. 53, under expectations, we're going to have market drops on Friday. Okay? So overall, I'm looking at a bearish week this week. Not only that, we can look at seasonality here. And I think this is key for us to also understand as well. Because seasonality is a very, very key, okay? A key indicator. And I want to look at SPX on seasonality. The reason why I want to look at SPX on seasonality, October is usually a bullish month for SPX. It's usually very, very bullish. I don't know if we're going to get that bullish movement here. I don't know if we're going to get that bullish movement here. If we don't get that bullish movement with SPX here in October, if we don't have that bullish month return, usually November's okay, but December is a profit-taking month. Remember that, guys. December is a profit-taking month. So usually things tend to fall in December. SPX doesn't always go as high as it usually does. It's kind of a break-even month. October, November tends to be the crypto market boom, SPX boom, assets boom. You usually have a boom that happens January till March, top in April, May, June, July are somewhat bearish. August, it starts to bottom. September, October, November, it picks up, hits all-time highs October, November as the second wave. There's two waves that happen every year. First quarter and then the last quarter. We're in the last quarter. There's supposed to be bullish volume here. But because of the banking crisis that's happening right now, there's a potential banking crisis. That's another thing we need to talk about here. That's why crypto's going down. Nobody's talking about this banking crisis here because of the government shutdown. No one's talking about this banking crisis. Nobody. I'm watching all these people on YouTube talking about, oh, crypto this, crypto that, it's gonna rise. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm seeing idiots talk about how nobody understands fundamentals. Guys, it doesn't matter if you believe if you believe that crypto is going to go to $100 to $1 million a coin. Okay, I get it. It's going to happen. Yes, it eventually will happen. But if there's a banking crisis here and regional U.S. banks' earnings are at risk, and there was already a couple banks that went under, this is the rumor on Wall Street. The rumor on Wall Street is a banking crisis. That is a problem. Look at that. News events, it doesn't pop up here. There we go. Regional banking crisis. U.S. firms ringing alarms. People are having, right? Potential bailouts that's what they're warning. The Bank of England, there's certain warnings here of a major regional bank earnings crisis. What's happening? Long story short, I'm going to sum it up for you guys here. Okay, the loans that were taken out for mortgages back in 2021, 2022, 2023 for all these commercial banks, these commercial loans for these buildings, a lot of these buildings are under. Okay? Because of a lot of commercial real estate dropping, a lot of them are under on their loans. And a lot of people that own these commercial properties cannot pay the loans. They're not profitable right now with the commercial real estate. A lot of the loans were extended till 2025, 2026. And now, okay, a lot of these loans were extended, and now these banks no longer can withstand extending those loans anymore. Why is that important? Why is that important for us? Okay? This is why. Dixie continues on an uptrend. There is no reason why Dixie should be on this uptrend here. And again, remember I said this a couple months ago. You guys can go back in the recordings here. I've said this. Dixie's starting on an uptrend. We're going to see crypto take a hit. We're going to see the markets take a hit. I may be early, but I'm never wrong. And that's one thing and it's not me, guys. It's not me because I'm fucking great at trading. It's just because I read the fundamentals. You just look at the charts. Okay? I just look at the charts. What we're looking at right now with Dixie, this is what's going to help us get a better idea of where the market's going. Okay? So far, we've retraced. We've come back down here. Okay? We've mitigated this zone here that I marked up as well. I wanted Dixie to actually fall a little bit more. That way we could get some breathing room here. I do not know. I know that we broke this structure. This is what I do know. We broke this structure. Okay? Because we broke this structure, we're coming here, guys. That means the markets are going to bleed a little bit more. Okay? After there's more market bleeding, then I think we're going to get a recovery. Okay? And then we could probably see Dixie go down. But because we have a break of structure, the market's going to feel it more. Okay? The market's going to feel it more 100%. Okay? Now, I do believe we're going to have a pull down. We have to fill this gap here on Dixie. We do, eventually. It could happen in this next impulse move because there's a gap here. Dixie has to fill that gap. Okay? But what this means is that we're bearish. This is why I took a bunch of sells on SPX. I'm very bearish on SPX. I think Bitcoin's going to go to 98K. I think Bitcoin's going to go to 98K. Okay, and I was the first person to call a sell on Bitcoin, right? First person to call a sell on Bitcoin. Very first person at 124K, and I was called crazy. I had people calling me crazy, an idiot, all these terms and everything. But the fundamentals and technicals don't lie. You can take emotion out of it, fundamentals don't lie. So what I'm looking for right now here, and this is what I'm going to tell you guys, is this. Okay? We're going to get more pain in the market. Now, what can happen is this. I believe internal structure might get hit here. This is what I'm doing, guys. So you guys can do what you want to do. This is what I'm doing. Okay? But what I'm doing is, what I believe is this. I believe that the market's going to continue. Dixie's going to move to the upside. It's going to sell off, mitigate here, and then move to extend to the upside here. What does that mean? The markets are going to feel more punishment for a bit. Then it's going to get more relief, and then a major boom is going to happen. And I think that boom is going to happen Friday. Okay? SPX, let's look at this here. Our sell. I sold. My stop losses are here. On our live session, I sold here. I got stopped out, and then I put it in the group chat, guys. I'm going back in again. I got stopped out by like 2 or 3 pips, bro. And then I said I'm going in again. I'm going in again. And then I went in again. I went in again. I got into more sells, more sells, more sells. Bang, drop. Okay? Now, this is the thing. What do I think about SPX? These are my stop losses right here. Okay? SPX so far, I'm still holding. You can take profit if you want. Some of you guys probably took profit or did whatever you did. But what I believe is because we broke that indecision here, what did we mitigate? We did mitigate a 1 hour, which isn't bad. We didn't break this area here. Okay? We didn't break. It could jump from this area. There is a possibility from this area here, we hit a low. This is a very big internal buying zone. Very resilient to it, even with all the bearish volume. You see the volume here? You see that volume? It's a lot of bearish volume. It could turn around here. Okay? But the only reason I'm taking a bigger bet is because I want to look for a potential other sell setup. And that other sell setup might be right here. I'm looking at a potential re-entry for a sell here. Internal sell. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm in sells here. Earlier today, I got in another resell here. I'll drop the screenshot. Another resell right in here. Why did I do that? The risk to reward for me is greater. Only reason is because I believe price for SPX could potentially go down here. I believe if this is the wave that I'm expecting to happen with SPX, and I may be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times, guys. I believe that we're going to come down here. I believe SPX is going to go all the way down here. And we could see a potential move of 4%, 29,000 pips, which would make me about $30,000. Okay? Potentially. That's a potential move. Again, I might be wrong. This thing could easily run down, run up, swipe liquidity, and then come back down. I could be wrong. You never know. Am I going to secure some profits? Probably with SPX here if this thing starts to break structure. But what I'm looking for tomorrow is key. Tomorrow, I want to see what happens here. Okay, and specifically with the Asian range tomorrow. With the Asian range, okay? If we don't break above this here, we respect the Asian range, I think we could have a second sell-off tomorrow. We will be trading live tomorrow morning. So I will be giving some trade ideas. Okay, or just I'm gonna give you guys my setups or what I'm doing. But we could get a sell-off here tomorrow. Even a sell-off there for a second wave. We're expecting a second wave. Usually the second wave is the biggest. We could expect this or this. The 1.62, or we could expect the 2.68. 1.62 is more realistic. So even tomorrow, if I do give up a setup tomorrow for shorts, if it respects here, I'm looking at something like this. This is what I am doing. You guys can do whatever you want to do. This is what I am going to do. Okay, I'm expecting maybe something like that, right? A nice 1 to 7 is what I'm potentially looking at. It's too early to call because we're right now not in New York session, but that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking at SPX shorts. Right now, the one thing against us is the volatility index. I do want to see this thing mitigate and start moving higher. If it moves higher, we're bearish on SPX. Gold. Gold's going to still be bearish for me. Why? Hit 1.27. There is a gap that it does need to come back up to fill. But then most likely sell back off back here. Again. Okay, so this the gold volatility index is a good indicator here for us. Let's look at the 10-year yields. Still dropping here. No turnaround either. Wow, that's crazy. I thought at least it would pull back here. And it's coming right to our zone here that we talked about on stream. Wow. Insanity. Okay. Let's look at gold here. I called more sells the other day. John, are you still in sells? Yes, I'm still in sells. John, why are you still in sells? I'm in sells from here. At one point, we were up 31,000 pips. Can you believe that? Okay. Now I'm in a zone here where I'm a little, I would say, I believe we're going to have some sort of like wick off be formed here. And then an extension potentially to the upside if we don't break this here. Okay? That's what I believe. I think that's a huge possibility. I believe the price is going to come back here. And we're going to get an extension to the upside. This is a daily zone. So I do need to be very cautious. I think this thing is going to start creating a wick off move. Right now it's still creating lower lows here. Right? It has that break of structure though. I just, you know what I need? This is what I need, guys, and this is why I'm just curious here. I called sells here. Get rid of this here just to make it cleaner. I need this to be broken. If I can get a daily close sell below here, gold's going to retrace and then sell off even more. Let's look at a potential sell zone here. This thing already retraced. Oh. Internal structure here. I think this could still move up and sell off. I'd wait until, for me at least, this is what I'm doing. I'd sell here. Potential buy here. This is what I'm looking at, a potential buy. Internal buys at this zone. I think we almost touched that. Almost. Not quite yet. I'm going to buy here, sell there. If I sell here, it's going to break this zone most likely. If I buy here, we're going to ride it all the way back up to this zone. Or even this high. Let's look at USD CAD. Stopped out of USD CAD. Oh well. Can't win them all. I'm not really trading USD CAD anyway, so it doesn't even matter. I don't really trade USD CAD like that. Let's look at USD CAD a little bit more. It's an order flow. That's the thing, though. It's like bullish. You see that? It's going to pop up. It's just creating swipes of liquidity. It just knocked out external structure here. It's bearish though, because it swiped that. It's gonna go up and then potentially sell off. Nothing's holding price. It's gonna come back here and then potentially run and rally. I think the best move with USD CAD is to trade internal structure with it. It's such an ugly chart. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. USD CAD is such an ugly chart. It's so ugly. We'll look at GU here and the rest like tomorrow. I'm really tired. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But I am giving you guys some setups here. 9:15. Okay, let me see if I can give you guys just a couple more setups here before we out. Cryptocurrency market cap. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This looks bearish, bro. This does not look good at all. If SPX drops to where I believe it's gonna go, crypto might go up, but come down another 10%. But again, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe the crypto bros might be right. You know, maybe the crypto bros got me. I wouldn't consider myself a crypto bro. I'm not a crypto bro. I'm not a trader. I'm just an entrepreneur, guys, that trades because trading is like a business and it makes good money. Sometimes I make more money sometimes from trading than I even do from business. I mean, I've had 50K days. I've had 100K days with trading, more than my own business, man. Can you believe that? The easiest money that I've made is with trading, but it's also been the hardest skill to get. The irony behind that is pretty crazy. Okay, so potentially we might see some sells here. I'll see maybe crypto run. It's looking it's looking bearish, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. The crypto bros might cry about it, but it's not looking good. It's creating lower lows. It hasn't created higher highs here. It's looking pretty bad. Now, what can change it is, let's say tomorrow Trump tweets something, China goes well, or rate cuts are gonna be running, and that could create the market to boom. Again, anything can happen in this economy, so you don't know. You know, you never really know. That's crazy. I called buys to go in probably this zone here. Let's look at BTC here. That's so funny. So I called sell, bro. Oh my god, I'm so fucking pissed. I sold BTC here at 124, took profit at 119. Oh my god, I just lost another 10 grand, dude. It's like 10 to 15K easily on that trade. Okay, so what I should have done is I should have held it, but it is what it is. Okay. This is what I'm worried about with BTC. We broke this high, 100%. We broke the low of this pullback. And now the only thing holding price up is an indecisional candle from June. That's the only thing holding crypto up. And we're still creating lower lows. I mean, look, we just mitigated. Like, look at this. On external structure, this was a full-blown mitigation here. Anybody that tells you that was the perfect time to sell again. I was looking at it the other day. I actually was going to sell more Bitcoin, but I just didn't do it. But this right here is the perfect time to sell again. This right here was a buy to sell fake out. Buy to sell candle. So this is a perfect time to actually sell more. Again, if SPX drops to where I believe it's going to drop, this thing is going to run to 98K. 100% 98K. If SPX starts to recover, creates all-time highs, then this is the bottom. But it's really what SPX does, guys. Remember, 70% of the correlation is with SPX. Whatever SPX does is what's going to happen. If SPX starts to break structure, breaks above that high here, I already think it's SPX is going to come here. What happens to SPX here is the question. If it starts to go lower from that zone, then that's it. All right, let's look at MSRT. Same reaction. I got stopped already from MSRT. MSRT is going down. MSRT looks like it's breaking structure. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks okay. Taking a little bit of beating, not too much. Coinbase is back at entry. Stop profits hit already. And yeah. We got to wait and see, guys. We have to wait and see now. Tomorrow is going to be a very big day. So get ready for tomorrow. Get your alerts ready. Tomorrow is going to be a good day. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good one, fam. Peace.